Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts. Make sure you subscribe, follow along on the podcast. Just search any podcast platform for HamRadioConcepts like Apple and Spotify. Gives you something to listen to when you're to and from work or just me talking. And we're going to change the podcast a little bit, but you can listen to that in the next episode. So subscribe to YouTube because you learn a lot here, right? There's stuff that you want to learn that I want to teach you. And if you already know this, then fine. But this is my way of just whatever. We're going to make videos on all weekend, this field day, and show you stuff. And maybe you take a little bit of that and turn it into your knowledge so that you can learn and make yourself a better ham radio operator. There's no expert. If you're an expert, I don't want to know you because I'm not an expert. I never want to be an expert. I want to learn every day. So today, I want to show you something. This is a fun fact concept here. When ARRL Field Day happens, people get on the air. Okay? That's a proven fact. You'll listen to the bands all year, and then when there's a contest or field day, forget it. You can't find a free frequency. And people have been telling me the bands are dead, but somehow I couldn't find a free frequency on many bands, right? But what I did for video's sake and for just my own knowledge and using the field day implementation here, field day is to get yourself to hone skills out in the field in another area that you haven't normally operated, hopefully on emergency power, generator power, with a modest setup so that you can, brush up your skills because some people only turn on their radios during contests and that's not good. Okay. So I made a video about one of this site that you're looking at, PSKreporter.info. Now I made a video on this about a week and a half ago, and if you watch it, just look up 3 ways to find ham radio propagation. This is one of the sites I referenced, and what this is a sort of like a reverse beacon network. Basically, it's hearing all of the FT8 or PSK or RTTY signals, and people have dedicated stations set up to receive your signals so that it can tell you and decode where your signal is going, okay? So what I did on field day was I used FT8, which I don't not operate much at all, but I'm so behind in times. I just learned that FT8 has a field day mode in the WSJTX software. So that's one thing I learned. So congratulations, field day taught me something. Now, I used 6 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters, and 20 meters on FT8, okay? Now, I want to show you real quick. We're going to go like this. On the top, you can choose your band. So we're going to start with 6 meters. 6 meters shows signals sent and received by, we're just going to sent, by the call sign KJ4YZI using FT8 over the last, we're going to do 24 hours. Now I'm going to click go. Now this is 6 meters. Now where was my 6 meter FT8 signals heard? So you can see on here, this is hours ago, right? We zoom in. Okay, all these little dots here are dedicated receiving stations for digital modes. Okay, and they're here and they heard the software decoded and said, hey, that's KJ4YZI and he lives here. He's Echo 97, Echo Lima 97, and it put me on the map. So 8 hours ago, I was using FT8 on field day. I made 5 contacts on 6 meters. So with my Chameleon Tactical Delta Loop antenna out in the backyard, with actually 50 watts because I determined, you'll see in a later video, that full duty cycle like that, you running at 100 watts, the SWR started to come up. My matching feed point, little micro chaw got real hot. I didn't realize I couldn't do 100 watts of FT8 into that antenna, so I dialed it down. But this is 50 watts on 6 meters, okay? So there's where you heard 8 hours ago. And if you click it, it'll tell you what frequency it heard, which I was on 50.313, but they're receiving on different frequencies for certain reasons. Okay, and that was 1,006 miles bearing 308 degrees from my home QTH. That's 6 meters. Let's go to 10. Let's go to 10 meters. The same thing, KJ4YZI using FT8, go. Okay, we're going to zoom out a little bit, make sure I don't miss any potential stations. I showed one video where I was heard in Australia on, I think it was 10 on the radio waves, double bazooka. But here is 10 meters, okay? So we're looking at a trend right here. This is educational. This told me that my antenna that I was using has pretty much the same radiation and propagation pattern on all these bands the way it was deployed, Okay? And go like this. There's 10 meters. Now, a lot of stations did hurt me. There's a lot of potential to make FT8 contacts right there. And you can do the same thing on, look at all these digital modes. Whisper, CW, PSK, FT8, FT4, Opera, PSK31, Olivia. Oh, man, check out my video. And we're going to go back into this again. Check out my videos, guys. Do yourself a favor. Look at all these other videos that I have on, like, Olivia and Hellschreiber. Where is Hell? Where is Hell? Right here, Hell. Okay? Hellschreiber is just phenomenal, man. If you don't know Hellschreiber, if you don't know Olivia, if you don't know Contestia, if you don't know Domino X or Thor or Throb, please look in my catalog and look at those videos, because every one of those was developed by somebody for a certain reason, for certain bands. Long-range propagation, more than just FT8. Keyboard to keyboard conversation where your eyes and brain have to do the decoding, for instance, on Hellschreiber. Or Olivia, or Domino X, which was designed for static crashes on 80 meters. I mean, there are serious modes out here that we're not utilizing, and I'm kind of very upset. Okay, this is me ranting again. I'm kind of upset that those don't get used. So, check it out. I have a passion in this hobby. I have a passion for YouTube. I'm allowed to have a passion in my opinion. Leave your negative comments below, because you guys always like to do that. So, that's 10 meters. Let's go to 15. So I only made a couple contacts on 15 meters using FT8, right? And look where my signal is going, to the West Coast, to Mexico, up here, right? I only made a couple contacts, although that antenna, that Chameleon Tactical Delta Loop, is totally flat. Oh, look, South America. Somebody stationed in South America heard me. How long was that? That's 6,045 kilometers, okay? So 15 meters was getting out there, but again, you see the idea. Look, the same kind of radiation pattern, right? So that's giving me an idea of what my antenna is doing. That's what I like about FT8 and this program, or this website, is that I can see what this antenna is doing. Had I spun that thing around, or maybe elevated it, or used a different antenna, I can compare one to the other. That's the cool thing about it. That's really what I consider FT8 for. Is a propagation test, basically. Okay, a signal pattern test, whatever you want to call it. Let's go to 20 meters. Now, 20 meters was completely booked on FT8. Some people didn't do nothing but FT8. So let's go like this. Go. Okay, look. Let me zoom out here. All right, so you can see. So, over that course of time, all right, we had the same, what appears to be the same area here, U.S., Northeast. We had some over here, one in Canada, a couple down here in the Caribbean, South America, and then over here on this island. All right, that's 5,025 kilometers. This one is 2,469 kilometers. But I got news for you. If you do other modes like Olivia and Contestia, guys, and have just simple keyboard, you have to type your message, keyboard to keyboard conversations on these, what I call forgotten modes, forgotten digital modes. And that's going to be another series again, because I have those videos and people have commented and said, holy cow, Eric, I was on Olivia. I saw your video. I used it. Never knew it was there. I thought FT8 was the only thing on digital on ham radio. And I had so much fun. You know, Olivia, the magical mode. I mean, you know, put Olivia with 6 meters. You'll work the entire world on 10 watts. Anyways, that's my rant. I'll get off of that soapbox there. Anyway, so 20 meters. So I did transmit on 40, and what I found was on 40, for some reason, it was blanking out. It was dropping my my USB COM port between the radio, the ICOM 7100, and the laptop, right? So as soon as I start transmitting, the RF would get in the laptop. I had ferret beads on there, and didn't matter. Maybe a better shielded USB cable would have done better. I'm not sure. But that's what we got. So on 4 different bands. Now let's go like this. All bands, and we'll go FT8 24 hours go. And this will color code it by the band like this. See? So if you look up top here, let's see, 20 meters. Why do they do it this way? That's ridiculous. 20 meters. Okay, they're going by popularity. That's why. 20 meters is yellow. You know, red is 6 meters. And you can drill in and see the average radiation and propagation for my antenna this weekend on field day on FT8 digital was like this. Okay, that's all the, I had a sporadic one over here. I could have rotated the antenna. I could have used a different antenna. I did. I used the Chameleon 20-40 meter fan dipole, but that again was blanking out my radio unless I was at 5 watts. So I'm not sure, or blanking out my USB interface or my laptop. So, these laptops nowadays, guys, they're not shielded so much. And I might have put 2 or 3 more ferrite beads on there and had no problem, or maybe a longer USB cable that was shielded. This might be something that Chang put together with a Baofeng, and it made it between my radio and my computer, and that wasn't the best deal, but that's all I had time for. I was trying to record, make contacts, produce videos at the same time, talk to the wife, go outside, have a cigar, jump in the pool, people come over, shoot pool. I mean, that's just the way it was. Anyways, this is your education of what happens, of where your signal goes. Now, I want to tell you this. Go check my podcast out. There's a lot of stuff. We talked about 6 meters. We talked about other ones. Now I got a whole plethora of episodes to start dumping back onto the podcast. We are not on shortwave at the moment. Thank you to my patrons who were supporting me and generously donating every month to pay the shortwave AM transmitter at WRMI for my bill. However, I can't afford it. So I was transmitting my podcast on 5.950 and I forget the other 9.395. And, it was cool on shortwave. People were listening in different countries over here. I got emails from Germany and Europe and all kinds of countries that were listening to me on shortwave. But, I think the best way is podcast at the moment. So if you're interested in supporting me, patreon.com/HamRadioConcepts, just $1. If everybody puts $1, I can make it happen again. And check out the podcast because I'm going to talk, and I'm going to drill it down to 15-minute episodes, informative 15-minute episodes that'll help you learn something and let me get my rant out instead of watching it on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope everybody had a great weekend, whether you operate field day or not. I hope you had a spectacular time no matter what you did. And if you don't have the ability to get to a place for field day, no problem. Operate it from your home. Give me somebody to talk to. Hopefully you got a microphone in your hand, not FT8. 7-3, everybody. This is KJ4YZI.
Ham Radio Concepts is brought to you by HamRadioPrep.com. It's never been easier to learn about ham radio before you take the exam. And Ham Radio Prep makes it fun and guarantees your success. Visit HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code ERIC20 to instantly save 20% off every course you buy. Remember the name, HamRadioPrep.com.